If you haven't liked our Facebook page yet, now is your chance. Facebook.com/SF17 Studio Chatter. Get involved in the chatter. Got an idea for us? Share it. Welcome back. 1 month ago, we started our very own Studio Chatter book club. We announced the book, and you were supposed to read it during the month. Let's talk about it.
Oh my goodness. I have to say, I have to just, jump in here really fast, okay?
Okay.
Generalize. When I started, so the invention of wings it does go back to the 1800s, and I think you explained it, where there's two families, the slavery family, the women, the slaves, and then you have the Grimke family who are, they own the plantation and they own the slaves. And so when you said about reading this book, and I love Sue Monk Kidd, I love her, because The Secret Lives of Bees is a little bit like that too, but in modern day time. Anyway, I was like, what am I going to talk about? It's about slavery. I'm going to go down that road, because why could I? You know what I'm saying?
Go down that road.
Go down that road, like, the blacks were oppressed and they were just blah, blah, blah. I could go down that road. But as it was going on, as one of the slaves, handful, Hetty, becomes friends with one of the plantation's owner's daughter, who becomes a Quaker and realizes that earlier on that, slavery is not, why should anyone own a human being? And in the 1800s to have that kind of mindset was, anyway. So then, their friendship developing, also it was a different mindset shift for me that, slavery doesn't have to be about slavery back then, when they were kidnapped and taken away. We could be slaves right now with our minds and certain situations that we're in.
The color of your skin, but anyone could be a slave to,
right? Yeah,
or
whatever.
be oppressed.
Oppressed, exactly.
Okay. Oh, I hadn't looked at it
in
like
a way that, back then they had no choice. But in the lives that we lead right now, some of us are slaves to certain things that we do have. Situations that we're in, and we feel like we cannot free ourselves. That's where I went deep, huh? What do you think?
That goes into, I wrote down one of my favorite quotes, and it says, "One does not need actual wings in order to rise." I like that because it's the invention of wings, but it just kind of talked about the freedom, like women, for example. We're so blessed to live in a time and a country that we can become and do anything we want to be.
Absolutely.
And it was when the mom was telling Handful about her ancestors in Africa, and that they would get wings and fly over, the land and over the trees, and she realized I don't need wings to actually fly.
No. And exactly.
So a good point that ties
it's
into.
It's true. Yes.
Well, I think when I was reading the author's notes and how the story even kind of came to be, and she was talking about, she just knew that she wanted to write about some sisters, and then she kind of went into the history and then how the story had developed. And for me, there were so many of these different stories going on, and I not having sisters per se, there was the sister relationship with her, not only Sarah and her little sister, how she kind of took her on as her own little sister, and how her mom kind of hated her for raising her as her own, and how they became Quakers together and became abolitionists together and became speakers against slavery together, and how she helped her overcome her speech impediment, and how their relationships even with men developed, and then how they even developed, I don't know, just all those different relationships with the slaves, and then even with how the cane came to be, and how she got hurt, and then how even strangely enough how the second sister came to be from those other relationships that developed from sneaking away, just all these goings on behind the scenes. But I don't know. Yeah, very different time, very different way of thinking, and then the story quilt just how that kind of unfolded, and how their mom finally returned after all of those horrible things had happened, and how she finally was laid to rest. And then, well, we know how the story ends, how they finally...
That was really cool too.
Yeah.
Gosh, when it was really hot and then the powder coming off, I was like, oh my goodness, I'd be so scared. I could just imagine, you know? Oh, because I bet the makeup wasn't the same as it is,
right,
you know?
right.
So, you know, dressing her up as a white person, I'm just like...
Sue Monk Kidd is a beautiful author.
She really is.
And when I read about how she got the story, it was just interesting because it's a novel, but she actually found these women when she was in a museum in Brooklyn and found, you know, there's a wall with 999 women that have made a difference in Western history.
Yeah.
And so she found these two and studied up on them and read about them. And so it is a novel, but it's
I don't know, there was a lot,
story. Yeah.
And can I just read this quote that I shared with you?
Yes.
That you thought I said something else. But anyway, she wanted, so this is where Mama is about, you know, she's dying. And Hetty Handful is by her mum. And she said, so Mama said, I'm tired. And she wanted me to tell her it was all right to get her spirit and go on, but I couldn't say it. I told her, of course you're tired. You worked hard your whole life. That's all you did was work. Don't you remember me for that? Don't you remember I'm a slave and I work hard? When you think of me, you say she never did belong to those people. She never belonged to nobody but herself. I just love that. She didn't belong to anyone but herself. And when I read that, I was like, what are people going to remember me by, you know? That I was what? You know, I don't know, just what kind of legacy am I going to leave for others?
I'm so
to
glad you
remember?
guys like
Oh, it was an awesome book. I
I
have to
wonderful.
admit, I mean, I was overwhelmed when you assigned it. I mean, it looked like a very large
I know, like,
read.
look at the comparison. Like, buy this version instead of this one. It might not be so overwhelming. But I love hardback, too.
Well,
There's something, you know, there is something about, you know, holding a book and reading a book and setting even aside the time to read a book. But that being said,
what's the new one?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
So I have to admit I've not read it yet, so I hope that
But it looks so pretty.
It's a good read.
I love the
Judge a book by its cover.
That's right. That looks good.
It's a new author.
Okay.
And it's only just debuted in March of this year.
Oh, wow.
Who's the author?
It is Cynthia D. Apri Sweeney.
Okay.
And it is the tale of a dysfunctional family, four siblings, and kind of.
Oh, lovely.
That sounds like my family.
Yeah, that's right.
The one I was born in and the one I raised. So, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I've passed it a number of times in my travels in the airport, and I finally just decided
it's so
that
pretty, right?
Well,
the gold, the bling bling.
I can see how she was drawn to that cover.
I like that. I've even got a dress that color, so I would be too. I really love it. Yeah.
So we might be pleasantly surprised.
Oh, okay.
Or not.
Or not.
Sure, or not.
And sometimes it's fun to not like it, and then you can discuss the reason why you don't like a book, or if you love it and I don't like it, or
and still
it was a tough call, actually. It was between this and another, so
you can save that other one.
I'll
for
save that other one.
Yes.
Too. I'm excited.
Do join in the read. We'll all be waiting.
That'd be fun.
Good. I love to finish a book and know that I will remember that message and story forever. There's some books that you put down and then you don't remember.
And you're like,
But the Invention of Wings.
Definitely,
we all love it, right?
Yes, it was fabulous.
Good.
This might be just some fictional fun.
But sometimes in the summer at the pool or just outside in the backyard,
we're flying out.
Some light reading is always good too.
Good. Absolutely.
Thanks for talking.
We're not done yet. Stay with us.